Well, the Rishabh Pant show at Old Trafford to seal the ODI series for India. His first one-day 100, by some distance his highest ODI score. And it was a game and an innings to remember for both him and Hardik Pandya. We look back at the third ODI that ensures India take both trophies on the white ball leg of this bilateral series against England. We look at the positives and the cons for both teams as we review the series too, with Ashley Giles and Wasim Jaffer on ESPN Cricket for Match Day. We have to start by talking about individual brilliance, gentlemen, and the brilliance of Rishabh Pant to start off with. Wasim Jaffer, is that the best you've seen him bat in this format, certainly? Sorry, Wasim, if I could just have you unmute.
Sorry.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
sorry. I mean, he's been in brilliant form. Apart from T20s, in T20 and in Test matches, he's played some incredible knocks. For such a short career, somebody who's only 23, 24, just outstanding. He keeps turning out, series changing knocks, series winning knocks. In this small tour, he's played two outstanding knocks in a Test match where he got that incredible 100. The result didn't go his way, but today he made sure that he finished on the right side. Just outstanding to see him bat. I think Rohit Sharma actually wanted, when he took on the captainship, he said he wanted to see how India responds when India is 10 for 3, because they rely so heavily on that 1-2-3. I think he must have been very, very happy. The way 72 for 4 and then Hardik and Rishabh Pant putting on that partnership. Just outstanding to see, those two guys stand up, and Hardik as well has been tremendous with the bat and ball. Makes you feel so happy as an Indian fan.
What stood out about that Rishabh Pant innings for you, Ashley?
Well, probably the maturity of the innings, I think, from the moment he went in. As Wasim said, India found themselves again wickets down early, under the pump. Their real senior experienced players gone. So it was a difficult situation, and you could have seen a scenario where crash bang wallop, a couple of wickets fall quickly, and India lose by 100 runs. But a brilliant partnership with Pandya, and for much of it, Pant took the back seat. The sort of more mature side of Pant, I suppose, took his time, and in the end, 125 of 113, but his 100 of 106 balls shows a lot of patience the way he normally plays and in the modern game. So a sort of coming of age innings, I would say.
It's a very un-Pant-like innings, isn't it, Wasim? We've seen Hardik Pandya got a strike rate of more than 100 throughout. Pant was striking at 50 for his first 20 balls. I don't think he struck it over 100 until he actually got that 100. Did you believe Rishabh Pant could play this way too? We always thought there's only going to be one way for Pant to succeed, whatever the format.
I think it just shows his maturity, Raunak. He looks like he's matured really nicely. When Hardik Pandya was going at that strike rate, he was happy to hang back and play the second fiddle. And then when he got an opportunity, then obviously he took over. But as soon as Hardik got out, I think it was a conscious effort to take that total down so low that it won't be that hard for even if India loses any wicket. So I think that was pretty conscious effort, and it shows how matured he has become. Especially in that middle innings where he rotated the strike and didn't let that ego come in. Moin wanted him to go over. He put the mid on up, and inviting him. He was lucky that that stumping was missed. But after that, he played very maturely, which is very nice to see.
I wonder what this kind of innings does for a Rishabh Pant, actually, in this format. You don't get a lot of one-day international cricket, but there is a World Cup coming up. What will it take for Pant to be consistent in this format? We always wonder whether he has the gears to adjust to the ebbs and flows of the 50-over game. What does this sort of innings do, knowing the player that he is, knowing the ability that he has for him going forward?
Well, I think you can only demonstrate that by your actions and what he's done in this situation, which not an easy situation at all to come in. Batting first and setting a total sometimes and playing that way can be a little bit easier, but under that amount of pressure in a series deciding game, say a top order gone, I think it says a lot about the man and the player. And not only will it give Pant confidence going forward, but also Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid, that, okay, we've got a serious player here who we know in situations we can fall back on to get us home. And that's exactly what he's done today. So, good on him.
3 for 38 at one stage, 4 for 72. Then came Rishabh Pant and Hardik Pandya together, partnership of 133 for 115 balls, I think, between them. That essentially has won this for India. What do we say now about Hardik Pandya? Wasim, this seems like a different version, a different beast of Hardik Pandya since the IPL. Extraordinary form with ball, great innings with bat. I mean, where is Pandya's game at the moment?
Well, he's in top of his game since the IPL. The way he's batted, he's bowled, the way he led as well in the IPL. He's just showing a very good matured mind, and the way he's playing, and it's good to see. I mean, we all know Hardik Pandya bowling at his best, or even bowling, walks into the Indian side. But if he performs like that, again, that performance in the T20 where he took 4 wickets, made some important runs. Even today, invaluable. I think he walks into any team pretty easily, and it's invaluable, especially in white ball cricket, to have Hardik Pandya like this playing. It must have been very very heartening for Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma to see him play like that, such a matured knock, and the way he bowled as well. I think that couple of wickets in the middle overs changed the complexion. I think it looked like they would easily get 300, but those couple of wickets changed the game. So he's an invaluable performer for Team India.
Just confidence, Ashley, or something more?
Confidence plays a part, but he's clearly gone somewhere, taken a look at, well, for instance, his physical state, and he's been carrying some injuries, I understand, and he's got it right, and he looks sharp, he looks hungry, he looks really excited about his cricket, and to come out today with 4 for 24 and 71 in 55, that's a pretty good day at the office for any cricketer. And as Wasim said, in terms of all-rounders, there's going to be fewer with as much impact in the game right now, particularly the white ball game. So, throughout this series, really, T20s and ODIs, he's had a major impact, and he's done it again today.
I like that you bring up the all-round conversation. Now, you would have had some time to work with Ben Stokes when you were with England. Ashley, it's a rare breed, isn't it? The seam bowling all-rounder who can win you games with bat or with ball. Does excelling in one department help bring out the best in the other? There are those that believe there has nothing to do with each other, but Pandya is bowling again. He fancies himself as a bowler. He liked taking big wickets, listening to his interview at halftime today too. Is there some correlation in Pandya, the bowler, being at full fitness, and Pandya, the batter, also firing?
I certainly think it takes the pressure off if one of the skills, let alone both of them, you're excelling at. I think it takes the pressure off. The fitness definitely helps, and that's difficult as a seam bowling all-rounder to maintain that level of fitness and almost appetite, given how much cricket these guys play nowadays. And we're sort of seeing that with Ben Stokes. Ben appears to still be carrying something, whether it's a knee problem that he's had in the past, but it's affecting his game. It's certainly affecting how he bowls, and the knock-on effect to that is probably affecting the rest of his game as well, which we know is so important, both in the field and with the bat.
How much has the success in the IPL and the Gujarat Titans have had to do with what we've seen of Hardik Pandya in Indian colours after that, Wasim?
I think huge, impact because he got an opportunity, first of all, to lead the side. We all, had questions, how Hardik Pandya will do batting at number 4, whether he'll bowl, how he will lead. All 3 departments, were in question mark. And he came out with flying colors, somebody winning 11 out of probably 13, 14 games, and then winning the championship as well. And performing so well himself in big moments in the game. It just, whatever the question mark were there about Hardik Pandya, it just went away. People were talking about Venkatesh Iyer being his replacement, but, he just put that aside. And, performances like that, if he bowls like this, bowling at 140, getting that important wicket, I think he's a very smart cricketer as well. He knows, what the batters are expecting. He was bowling to that big field. He used that short ball really well. He knew that, Ben Stokes or Liam Livingston are going to take him on. So he's got a very smart operator, very smart brain. He knows, he understands, he thinks as a batsman as well while he's bowling, and that helps. And if he's bowling like that, and we all know about his batting, he can bat at number 4, 5, 6. He's in, like I said again, he's invaluable for Team India at the moment.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the short ball tactic for Hardik Pandya. It seemed to be a unique tactic at the time. Siraj was getting wickets with a full ball, Ashley. Here comes Pandya to get four set batters, have a huge imprint on the game with ball. Says at halftime that I know that that's a wicket taking option. Livingston likes to pull, everyone likes to pull. Now, what did you make of the tactic? It didn't look like India would have resorted to that. And of all the Indian seamers that could have gone to it, Pandya seemed to be the first. Could you make sense of it?
Well, look, he's certainly got enough pace, and that's the key, and the second key is accuracy. And when you are following batsmen, getting it back into their body, it doesn't matter how good you are on the short ball. If you keep taking it on wickets that have got quite a bit of steep bounce, which this pitch clearly did, given there were 3, I think, hits on the helmet with England at least, batsmen are taking their chances. And when you've lost early wickets, I'm not sure any player in the world can just keep hitting out the ground. I know we saw Johnny Bairstow do it in one of the Test matches recently, but Old Trafford is quite wide, square of the wicket, and it's not an easy shot to keep playing, particularly, as I say, against someone who's bowling mid to late 80s with a really heavy ball.
We used to associate Hardik Pandya as the part-time bowler in 50-over cricket. Often say that perhaps some of his wickets are batters wanting to go hard at him and he gets lucky. Would you call today's spell that, Ashley? Or was today attacking bowling, almost like a frontline bowler?
Really attacking bowling, high quality bowling. I think it would be doing Pandya a real disservice to say that there was any good fortune in that. He clearly knows his method and he delivers it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with someone who can bowl high 80s at the head in white ball cricket, because whoever you are, it's not that comfortable, and it's been proven on the right sort of pitches that it gets wickets. And we know in the white ball game, if you keep chipping away at wickets, that's what stunts scoring. And England, in the end, will be ruining the fact that, well, they only got 259, but they still had over 4 overs left of the innings still that they wasted.
All right, that was for Hardik Pandya. What a wonderful game and a wonderful series he's had. Let's look at some takeaways for both teams now. The ODI series is done. Very confusing series, this, because both teams have had severe losses. There's a good game that's played today, which had symptoms of the first 2. So as we review from England and India's point of view, since we're talking about Pandya and Pant, let's continue the conversation. India will then come to England as well. Wasim, at the end of this series, if you look at takeaways for India, let's start with batting. Are you concerned about the top order? Shikhar Dhawan's return was not a happy one, struggled his way in the first innings. Kohli, the conversation continues. What are the takeaways for India's top order?
Well, I think, the first game was won easily, Rohit, scoring that big runs. But I think overall, India would take that, especially winning this last one. They were in pretty similar position compared to that second ODI. But they got that box ticked by chasing it down. Rishabh Pant coming good, Hardik Pandya. But India always played well when the top 3 have scored runs, which hasn't happened in the last 2 ODIs. That is something they need to look at. Obviously, we know Virat is struggling at the moment. Shikhar Dhawan's looking rusty. Rohit Sharma also, he's not as consistent as we want him to be. But that is a concern. But if number 5, 6, and 7 are performing like this, I think it'll make Rohit Sharma happy more than anything. I think the number 8 position I'll come into. That is something which I think India needs to look at. Shardul Thakur or maybe Deepak Chahar. India can't afford to have such a long tail going forward, especially with the World Cup coming. If Deepak Chahar fits, because he has contributed so beautifully with the bat in a couple of innings that he has played for India. And Shardul Thakur, those are the 2 people they need to look at, because if Hardik bowls like this, it gives them an opportunity to play an all-rounder there. Prasidh Krishna was a little bit, he didn't bowl as well as he would have wanted to be. But I think that's the only concern I would see. That number 8 position going forward, looking at the World Cup, that is something which I think India needs to look at.
All right, Ashley, your thoughts on India's batting? Does it look like a balanced batting lineup? The top 3 are strong on paper and reputation, but is it really as formidable a team?
Well, look, I just don't think some of those players are in very good form right now. It doesn't mean they won't return to form, and that could be next week or the week after. But when they do fail, it clearly puts pressure on that Indian middle order. And until today, we've probably not seen them really step up to that challenge. So well done to them today. And as we talked about Pandya and Pan particularly, but that will be a concern. I agree with Wasim as well. When you want to go in white ball cricket as deep as you can. That all-rounder position, or those all-rounders in the sort of 7, 8, 9 slot, people who can hold a bat and score valuable runs, is really important. And at the moment, with some of the makeup of the bowling attack of India, they could be light in that area.
All right. As we look at the bowlers, interesting that India, looking at the likes of Siraj and Shami just in 50 overs cricket, they've not been part of the 20 over setup since the IPL. Wasim, does that look like a smart plan as of now? And Prasidh Krishna, you've already said you'd rather see a more capable batter bowler there. But what did you make of India's bowling? Bumrah obviously brilliant, but what about the rest of India's bowling from this series?
I think India bowled brilliantly. I mean, this is the full strength England batting lineup, and they haven't managed to score a 300 in any of the game. That first game can be, understanding that, that was a little bit bowler friendly, but India able to restrict them to, that scores 250, 240 in a couple of ODIs. I think they'll take that. I think Yajuvendra Chahal bowled beautifully. Shami, Bumrah have been brilliant. Hardik Pandya coming good. Whenever Ravindra Jadeja got an opportunity, he bowled brilliantly as well. So I think they'll take a lot of positives, not letting this England team get away with the game. They could have easily, got 300, 350 with the batting lineup they've got. So they'll be very, very happy, even though, India won all 3 tosses. But still, I think it was a commendable effort from the Indian bowlers.
All right. It stems nicely to a review of England's batting as well, coupled with the bowling that they had to face, Ashley. Now, in all 3 games, including the one they won, they did need the runs lower down the order. So is this a reflection of, great bowling lineup in tough conditions, so it's okay if our full strength batting didn't get it right? Or are there deeper issues here?
Well, look, firstly, there are certainly there are some worries about the form at the top of the order, I would say. Jason Roy got a bit of a start today, but has struggled of late, certainly, to get going and play the way that everyone knows Jason can play, which is at times destroy attacks. I also think this ODI lineup has been a bit, in how much it's played together, has been a bit disjointed. They've not played an awful lot of their best team recently in ODI cricket, so it takes time to settle again and play that different format and play together. And they've also come up against a fantastic bowling attack, which Wasim's talked about. And, today Bumrah doesn't play, Siraj comes in. He wouldn't have had his best day after his first over, but we can't underestimate the impact of that first over. Taking Bairstow and Root with you, your day's almost done. That's a fantastic start to any day. So England will have concerns, and that will go right through that order. Stokes, for a while now, hasn't really hit his straps. So, they'll be concerned that they need to get runs at the top of the order, and they need to maintain that really attacking approach that this team's been known for over many years. It's not a time now to run for the hills and play differently. Yes, at times you have to adapt and consolidate, but you've got to keep going at the ball and going at the ball hard.
Wasim, anything to add about England's batting? Because 1 to 7 pretty much pick themselves in this England side.
I mean, like Ashley has said, they rely very heavily on Jason Roy, Bairstow, even, Joe Root. Joe Root plays that role really well in that ODI where he bats at literally, run a ball till about 40 overs and, take that everybody bats around him, which hasn't happened in this series. So, it's a form thing. Obviously, the quality is there, but, once they hit the form and they keep going, this team would like to continue. They play aggressive brand of cricket, and we will see him play like that. But these guys, when they come in form, they are scary.
All right. A review of England's bowling, which we thought would be the weaker element here. But Ashley Giles, Rhys Topley, you said for Rishabh Pant's a coming-of-age series for him. Is this a coming-of-age for Topley? 9 wickets in 3 games, 2 games, effectively.
Yeah, look, a real bright spot for England's bowling was Rhys Topley. Those breakthroughs again today showed what he can do. Left arm, tall, he's got enough pace and gets enough bounce because of his height. And also, when it does swing, he gets it back into the right-hander, which is really useful. I do think the rest of the bowling, it's been a good opportunity to see other guys playing these roles, but there will certainly be concerns, and they're missing Wokes, Wood. Jaffer hasn't played for a while now, and we've mentioned it before, but Rashid is the kingpin with the in the spin department for England and has been for a number of years. So, look, I don't know how much more they've learned, but they know they're missing particularly variation in terms of that cutting edge pace and their high quality spin. But I think one of the disappointing things really is they've not had a chance to look at Parkinson in these matches properly. And maybe that says something about some of the faith and the confidence that the coach and the captain have in Parkinson delivering against this sort of quality of opposition at the moment. So disappointing that he didn't get a run with Rashid not in the side, but yeah, he'll have to wait his turn.
What is Rhys Topley? Yes, Wasim, please.
Yeah, I think talking about India's batting perspective, they just probably need to improve how they play left-arm seamer, going forward.
Yeah.
That has been a concern, including Trent Bolt, Shaheen Shah Afridi, and even Rhys Topley in this series. It just, that is one spot. I think that is one box they need to tick. I feel, whether getting some Indian bowlers to come and bowl them in the nets or whatever. That has been the problem. That left-arm seamer has got wickets early on. When the ball gets old, it's fine. But those bowlers trouble the Indian batters. So that is one area I feel the Indian batters need to improve going forward.
All right, I was going to bring exactly that up. Has Topley again brought up the same problem that India have had in white ball cricket? Every team will attack them with a left-arm seamer, whichever the white ball format. So Wasim, you've said one thing. They could include more left-arm bowlers in the nets. Are there other ways to counter this? These are three of the most experienced players we're talking about. But the left-arm seam problem doesn't seem to go away. Anything else they can do?
I don't know. I think, they've had the left arm, Wenger who comes and bowls at them. But getting that ball to swing at that pace is not easy with that, sidearm stick. But yeah, I mean, that is one of the concern India has. India have lost matches. Mohammad Amir had troubled them. Shaheen Shah Afridi did that in the World Cup. Trent Bolt has done that before. So that is the one area, they need to probably get that right.
Ashley, anything to add?
Yeah, well, look, they have everything. The modern players, as Wasim was touching on, for everything at their disposal nowadays, whether it be bowling machines that come that side of the pitch or specially imported left arm slingers with a dog stick. We've taken around left armers on tour specifically for that reason, just for that angle of maybe one or two opposition bowlers. So I'm sure India will have all of that at their disposal, but it's still tricky. And we've seen in the modern game and the white ball game particularly how popular from a fielding bowling perspective having that angle is in your team, because it gives you certainly different angles and options.
All right, pretty much it. While we were having this conversation, Rishabh Pant's been adjudicated player of the match. Thought it was a close call between him and Pandya. Pandya's got player of the series. I wonder if that settles it then. Would you have gone the same way? Pandya had a huge imprint in the first innings on the game too. Ashley, happy with that?
Yeah, I think it's a good move, isn't it? It keeps everyone happy. I think Pant, the way he played there, that coming of age innings, deserves man of the match. But Pandya, absolutely star of the series for India.
Wasim?
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Both of them happy. Gave him man of the match and give him the man of the series, which is a perfect decision.
Awesome. That's pretty much it. And that completes our wrap of this wonderful England-India series. So much fine cricket to talk about in the one-off test, the T20Is, the ODIs. Ashley Giles, you returned to an analyst's chair for this one. Has it been a more pleasant experience? Normally, how would the office have been after a bilateral back-to-back series defeat? Would it have been a tougher Monday than it will be tomorrow?
I wouldn't be smiling right now, I'll tell you that much. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it, Raunak. Thank you. And spending the time with you and with Wasim.
All right. Thank you so much. It's been our pleasure entirely, Ashley. We look forward to your company on our network again soon. Wasim, it won't be long. Keep that maroon on. We'll probably have you on for the West Indies series very shortly in a few weeks' time. Always a pleasure getting Wasim, Jaffer and Ashley Giles' thoughts on ESPN Cricket for Match Day. That is a wrap. England take the one-off test completed from last year. India take the white ball leg of the series 2-1 in the T20Is and the ODIs. So plenty to keep the conversation in Indian cricket going on. Do join us for the West Indies bilateral series. We'll see you then on ESPN Cricket for Match Day. Until then, it's goodbye.